So today's video is going to be what would happen if Riley chose Alfie instead of James. This focuses on a big plot of season 4, I just thought I'd do it. Some people's opinions was it was the only plot in season 4 and that was the thing that only happened in season 4. To be honest, it was the main plot and there were lots of filler plots leading up to a big plot. I did 0% Club. Obviously, Riley did choose Alfie for a bit, but alternately she ditches Alfie in order to get back with James. So the plot starts with Season 4, Episode 33, because that was when Riley went to London to support James. To be honest, I was shocked that this happened, and I did like that it did happen. So Alfie would walk into Riley's office and say, "Who's my favourite girl?" And Riley would ask, "Who is your favourite girl?" And Alfie would say, "Guess who's been invited to come on a trip to Switzerland?" And Riley would agree, as she did in the episode. Riley would leave Amanda and Michelle in charge. We would see Alfie waiting at the airport and James struggling at bangers and mashups. You see Riley in a taxi debating between does she go to London to support James or does she go to Switzerland with Alfie. Then James would say in his talking head he would love to have Riley's support right now. Riley would turn up at the airport. She would stand where nobody could see her and debate her decision more. Riley would walk over to Alfie and Alfie say, "What took you so long?" And Riley would say, "I got stuck in traffic." You would see James struggling because Riley hasn't come to support him. Because Riley doesn't come to support him, James loses round at bangers and mashups. So the boys lose the competition. Back at the studio, Amanda and Michelle would still be in charge. Amanda would be leading the team in some conditioning exercises. Michelle would also be trying hard because they know what a good studio head and what a bad studio head is. The boys wouldn't help with the small group because they lost. They're not sure about the team finding out them losing. Michelle would be trying to help the small group. She had come up with some good choreo, but the boys' choreo would be better. Amanda would be getting people to show their routines and she would give them corrections. Amanda would be thinking, "I wish I was in this dance with Noah instead of Rochelle." Amy would say, "Can we rehearse a trio?" And Amanda and Michelle would say, "Yes, let's rehearse." Amy would say, "How are you feeling about it?" They would say, "We're fine." So Michelle and Riley would chat about things going on at the studio. Michelle would say, "The trio is good, but I need to work on it a bit more because I still need to do a bit more work on the trio, but it's fine." The quintet is good. Michelle said, "My solo is good. Small group is coming along. And the duet is good, and we are going to go over the finals dance." I would say, "Do you mind telling the team who the alternate is?" And the alternate is Cassie. Skylar would say Alfie should be the alternate if he's willing to miss so much rehearsal time to go off with his girlfriend. Then why should it be Cassie being the alternate when she's in rehearsal? And Skylar said Piper should take Alfie's place because we need people in the dance who are committed for regionals, and Alfie's not proving that in the run-up to regionals. Piper would be nervous and also she would find it difficult to replace Alfie. Piper would struggle, but she'd also be excited. Cassie would hear about the fact that Skylar had said Alfie's not committed to this dance. Cassie would say, "Skylar, can I replace Alfie in this dance? I'm committed to this dance. You know, I am good and I am also in the quartet." Skylar would say, "Piper is also in the quartet. She is the same as you, so Piper is in this dance." Riley would ring Michelle and Amanda and say Alfie has print stuff to do. So Riley would come back alone and Alfie would stay out in Switzerland. Everyone would be stressed. The small group would go back to practice, Piper would say, I can't do complex choreo like Alfie, because I'm not Alfie. Henry would say, we don't have much time, Piper, so we need to make as much of this work as possible. Skylar would say, everyone don't panic. Michelle and Amanda would have a chat in the office and they'd say, I can't believe we were the alternates last year and now I'm the soloist for regionals. We're going to be a big part of regionals. Amanda would say to Michelle, you did it, Michelle, congratulations. Michelle would say we both did and we're going to be a massive part at regionals. Amanda would have a talking head saying, Michelle has accomplished a lot more than I have. If I don't get to dance the trio, then I only have one group dance to show for my entire year. Giselle would then walk into the office and say, hey, could I talk to you, Amanda, in Java Junction? So Amanda and Giselle would be talking in Java Junction. Amanda would have a talking head saying, Giselle's talking all about her travels and her trips. Giselle would say, Tori's great, but there's one thing missing and that is you. And Giselle would say, Amanda, there's the spot on the tour, no auditions, it's you. And Amanda is left deciding what to do, because ultimately it's a big opportunity, but she also needs to be there for the final dance. Then Michelle introduces James's band. The band introduces some good vibes because everyone has been super stressed. Michelle would say, this is what we need to relax and have fun before regionals. The next episode, the team would arrive at regionals. Michelle would not be mad about her and Alfie being together, but she'd be mad about the fact she went away with Alfie right before regionals. Cassie would say, hey Riley, is there a chance I don't have to be the alternate, seeing as Alfie's not around? I would say, you are already in a dance, so why? So that is why you're the alternate. Cassie would be a bit disappointed because she'd think that because she's in a dance, she doesn't have to be an alternate because the alternate's not in any dances. A Troop also learns that the solo round is picked randomly. Cassie gets excited in case her name comes out. Michelle would be annoyed because it was Riley's job to have read the rules properly. Everything would happen in the same, apart from Cassie would be disappointed that her name didn't come out. And Sloan would tell back, and Riley would be mad at Sloan for doing choreo. Also, Sloan would tell her back, if you read the rules and the guidelines, people would be at least a bit informed that it could be them dancing in the solo round. Then there wouldn't be pressure of being unprepared. Michelle, Amanda and Amy would know they need to do their trio and they'd be stressed. In episode 37 they would say to Riley, the trio needs a second opinion, and they would ask, can we go check the details for the round? Skylar would say, I'm on it. So all the security things would happen, as same as in the episode. Amanda would be debating whether she should take this opportunity on a world tour. They would think, what is the point in being at the next step when Riley doesn't care? She is caught up in a lot of boy drama. Shell would be overworking herself, in fact. That the trio has not been approved, she would be doing Riley's job, so she then she didn't get to do her solo. She feels like she isn't working hard enough, and Michelle would faint on stage. Taken away by the paramedic, she would shout at Riley saying, this is your fault, you brought this on, Riley. By not doing your job properly. Riley would say, how, because I don't have much control in, I don't have control in how much work you do or how much water you drink. It'd be nice to see Riley made to feel more accountable. James would go to Switzerland still to get Alfie back, because even though he knows Alfie cares about the next step and he cares about the next step. He would say, Alfie, you need to help the next step. Alfie would say, why do I need to help the next step? James would say, the next step's not eligible to win regionals, and Alfie would say, why? And James says, just hear my piece. So Lowen got disqualified and Michelle ended up in the hospital. So now Michelle would be dancing in the duet round. They'll be wondering what's the point, because if they win then they go to the semi-finals, and if they win the semi-finals then they'd need to do the 10-person dance, and they don't even have 10 people. Because Michelle's in the hospital, Sloan got disqualified and Alfie's not there. Riley would be trying to ring Alfie to see if back. Amanda would say, is Alfie coming back? And Riley would say he's not answering his phone. James would be saying you need to help the team because ultimately you care about the team. Giselle and Amanda would meet up and Amanda would say I can't come on tour because the team needs me. Giselle would be fine with it. When Giselle goes, Amanda is sad, she's missing out, but she knows the team needs her. End of the episode. James would walk in with Alfie to come and help the team, and Alfie would apologise and say, I've had some help come into the realisation that the team comes first. Episode 39 would be, Noah would say, can I talk to you? I'm glad that you stayed, but I wish you'd gone on tour because it's a better opportunity. Suddenly Michelle and Giselle would walk in, and Michelle would say, we need to make Riley realise what she did was wrong. So Amanda would go on tour, Michelle would hide, and they would give the next step no chance to dance and win. Riley would try and make things better with Piper. Piper wouldn't care, she'd want to stay focused for the dance. The next step wouldn't dance because they can't, and they would get disqualified. Riley would remind herself she has Alfie and everything will work out. Michelle would find out. They were disqualified. Michelle would see Riley and the fact that she didn't look happy, and she would friends with her despite having a slight grudge. Gemini would win. Riley would say to Michelle, I'm going to step down from studio head and go to business school. Noah would sit on the stage with Amy. They'd talk. Sloan and LaTroy would be together. Noah and Henry would chat. And they would say they want to do it all over again. Riley would say, at least me and Michelle are friends again, and Alfie and me are together. Riley would also say I'm going to, in her talking head, step down as studio head and say she's going to leave the next step and go to business school instead of being studio head. She would still be with Alfie for season 5. Riley decides to leave the next step and go to business school instead. Emily would be studio head. Riley wouldn't come back, she would leave the next step. Michelle makes TNS West because the hip hop dancers get cut. Kingston would come in on his hoverboard because that is Kingston all over, and he had his hoverboard and he came in from the internet. Kingston would be really charming to everybody. The next episode, TNS West. Next episode, West would be teaching some choreo. Kingston would be struggling, but West helps him with the choreo. Later in the actual plot of season 5, with the battles, Amanda and Giselle would come back because they've both been on a tour together. Noah would look away because he likes Jackie now, and also they haven't spoken. Amanda would be polite to Noah. Giselle and Amanda would be asked by Kingston, did you use to dance? By Kingston, did you use to dance at the next step? And they'd say yes, now we're on tour. Drew and Giselle would say, who do you think would win? And Amanda would say, if she wins, then secrets from the next step stay secrets. Giselle would say, if you win, then you have to tell me your favourite memory from the next step. Amanda would win, but Amanda would say, Giselle, I will in private tell you my favourite memory of being at the next step. From there on, everything would be the same. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in another video. Bye.